Hey, Jonathan, it's Mark McSweeney.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Good, good.
How'd you like the movie?
I'd say I'd give it a B. It wasn't what I expected. Did you see it yet?
Yeah, I have seen it.
Yeah, it didn't really give you too many facts about the whole event. It was a typical Christopher Nolan movie, really, jumping around.
Yeah.
If you like his stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was like, I know they're playing with converging timelines and all that sort of stuff, and that was supposed to be like the big draw, but going in, that's not what I was expecting either.
I know.
And I was just, I mean, visually it's amazing, and audio-wise it's kind of insane. I mean, there were so many times where I was like, oh, I need to cover my ears.
I know.
But it wasn't, for me, that's not one of my favorite movies.
It wasn't for my wife either. She doesn't like stressful, action-packed, loud movies. So getting her to go was kind of an accomplishment on my part. But I did get to see Harry Styles. So that was a high point, right?
He wasn't bad, right?
No, he's the one that probably talked the most of all the soldiers. So I'd say I was glad I went.
Nice. So
Yeah.
I got your voicemail, and you're interested in moving forward.
I am. Yeah, I've talked to several people, got their opinions, and I just had a little time to get my brain organized about it. And I actually watched a couple of episodes yesterday. I watched his 10 Rules to Success show, and I realized, yeah, this could be good. So I guess I do want to go forward.
Awesome. Okay. So here's what happens next. What will happen next is I'll send you over an email with an attachment, and that attachment is our actual, like, physical application. I know that you filled one out online, and that's really just for us to use to kind of weed out who we actually want to reach out to and discuss a potential episode with.
Mm-hmm.
The next one will be a pretty lengthy NBC Universal document that'll be coming across.
Okay.
And it's really good for both of us. On one hand, for you, it's a great study guide. You'll have an idea of the sort of questions that I'm going to ask about the business overall. And then it's also a good study guide for me because you might be entering stuff that, maybe you didn't put in the initial application or we didn't touch on when we chatted yesterday. So it preps us both for
Sure.
the following interview. Once I get that application back, what I'll do is schedule you for a Skype interview or FaceTime, like whichever is easier for you. And then I would have you let me know what other people, like key people in the business you would want me to talk to, whether that would be, employees or, since your sons are involved, that would be great to, have them talk about it and about what they're about to start doing in Colorado. So once
Sure.
I get all of that footage, your interview will be the longest by far. And it's not super long. It's like an hour tops, maybe. And then everybody else is kind of like a 15-minute sort of interview. Yours is kind of the springboard for me, so I can go, okay, let me make a note to ask the next person about this. And, sometimes, employees or managers or whoever they might be at a business end up having, they bring up something and then I have to maybe do like a 5-minute follow-up just to ask you about something that, maybe they brought up. But all in all, it's a pretty pain-free process. After that, I need to get a little bit of video, if you have some. I know I will pull the one off of your YouTube. Any photos you have on social media, I'll pull that. But, yeah, and then I take that and cut it down to like a 5-minute little mini episode that we showed to Marcus and to Amber, our executive producer, and then the executives at CNBC. And those three sort of heads of the beast, so to speak, they come to an agreement on who they want to start slotting for episodes. And
Sure.
And yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
That's kind of how it goes from here. And
I will say my wife has no involvement really at all in the business. It's kind of a long story. She's very into whole food, plant-based eating, and so the idea that I own a potato chip company is just kind of abhorrent to her. So,
honestly, that's a great story point. That's something that I would love to just have, even if we jumped on with her for like 5 minutes just to have her
Yeah.
say something to that
Well,
effect
she's
would
had
be
one
awesome.
one potato chip of ours in her life, and she told me later she spit it out.
Oh my gosh.
She's so like oil-free, fat-free, much healthier eater than anybody I know.
Wow.
So,
That's awesome.
but my
That's
son,
good for her.
yeah, she needs to lighten up about some things regarding diet, I think. But that's kind of her passion is nutrition and healthy food. And um, when we opened up our bread company 25 years ago, she was gung ho about bread and whole wheat flour and all that stuff that we grind our own flour and all that. Now she doesn't even eat bread because she's totally off gluten, and so she's definitely not a customer.
Okay, I mean, that's got to be a pain in some senses. I'm sure you're happy that she's made, such a great choice health-wise. But
Yeah.
I could just imagine that, you guys. Did she bust your balls about it?
No, she pretty much just tries to get me to eat healthier and doesn't criticize me. But we've got kind of an interesting story. I mean, it's all very interesting. It goes back to like 10 years ago. I had to have a kidney transplant, and
Oh my gosh.
the first one I had failed, so I had to do dialysis for 3 years almost. And then
Oh wow.
life got so hard that our marriage fell apart. We actually got divorced in 2011.
No way.
And then our son in 2012 was in a coma for a week after an accident skiing.
Oh my goodness.
And at that point, he needed to go into rehab for 60 days to learn how to talk and walk again because he had a stroke after the accident.
Oh
So
my gosh.
he's recovered amazingly well. You wouldn't even notice anything's wrong. But that kind of brought us back together. So we actually got remarried about 2.5 years ago. So
Wow.
the marriage got healed, the son got healed, and in the process of doing all that is when I started the chip company because I was kind of on my own and
Mark, you're
sad.
gonna make me cry over here, man.
So I really want my sons to succeed out there in Denver because he didn't get to go to college because of the stroke, and I think it would be a great career for him.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm excited. I look forward to our interview and to getting your application back. I'll send that once we get off of the phone. And the other thing I wanted to ask is you guys are only distributed in Indiana right now, right?
We're in about 20 locations in Ohio.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And we do use a distributor that takes about, I'd say, half of our chips to stores that are not in Indy. Just a locally based regional distributor. And they also would go to Louisville with 2 stores, I think. But nothing else besides that.
The reason I ask is I would love to try some of the chips, and I would love to have the team try them, and obviously have
Sure.
Marcus and Amber. I would love to have our whole team, have a chance to know why these chips are so amazing.
I'd love to send you a box if you want.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll put our address in along with the application, and then, man, I'm really excited.
Well, good.
I'm really excited to try them out.
I think you'll like them.
Yeah, I can't wait to try them. So, let's see. Do you have any questions for me before we hop off?
Tell me again the timeline if this were to happen.
Well, we're filming right now, so I would assume we'll wrap that up at some point in the fall, and then Marcus will look for a little bit of downtime. I would guess that we'll start back up before the end of the year and continue on into 2018. So I would guess maybe we start in December, stop down for a couple weeks over the holidays, and then pick back up in January. What I'll do before we talk next is try and get a clear timeline of what we have in mind right now. But that's all sort of subject to change. Who knows? I mean, we could go and have the best interview in the entire world, and all of a sudden one of the businesses that we already have locked in could go, hey, actually this thing happened, we can't do it, or whatever that might be, and I could call you right after the interview and say, hey, we need to do this. So it's really a kind of a fluid thing. We never really are certain because businesses are in and out all the time, and the reasons they go out are mostly background stuff, because we've got a very lengthy background process. I mean, it's not very lengthy, but
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I'll look for your long email. I also used to be a criminal defense attorney too, so that's another aspect that's kind of interesting.
No kidding.
Yeah. Right out of law school, I did it for 5 years and realized that wasn't my career path, and found out about Great Harvest, and that's what I did instead.
Awesome, man. You've had quite the life, Mark.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not been dull.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm just about to wrap things out here for the end of the day, so I'm going to hop off the phone, and the last thing I'm going to do is send you over this email.
All right.
And I hope you have a great weekend, and I will watch for the application to come back, and then we'll get the interview all set up for hopefully next week.
All right, that would be great. Thanks.
Awesome, man. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.